Hello world, I was Cortez coming to you live from Web3, and today I want to share a story on how I got Tezzard. So to give context on what is a Tezzard and my philosophy on the decision to purchase one, because it's not a light purchase, um, really derives from speculation, but also seeing how markets and chains evolve and how NFTs are a potential asset that gives duplicate appreciation. And I'll go into that in detail. But essentially what happened is I purchased a Tezzard, which is the most popular and most expensive NFT on the Tezo's blockchain. Now, currently there's probably five main blockchains that are getting market share. There's Bitcoin, of course, there's Ethereum, there's Cardano, there's Solana, and there is Tezos. Tezos, in my opinion, is a sleeping giant. They are one of the first to introduce proof of stake, the consensus mechanism, and the art on Tezos is very, very, very affordable compared to all the other chains. And on top of that, it's still so new. It's very clunky when you take a look at the back end and the behind the scenes of Tezos. You could tell it needs a lot of work, but that's very exciting when you're an early adopter. So keeping that in mind and having some exposure and some skin in the game in Ethereum and Solana and Cardano, I got the exposure, I got my feet wet and essentially knew how to navigate the space. I got to see what collections popped off in each chain, what gave them establishment, and how speculation in certain NFTs brings life-changing money. There's a really condescending, rude comment out there called life-changing money, and it's so ignorant to say, but sometimes these NFTs do bring an excessive amount of wealth. Some of these losers, honestly, if once they get that money, they feel that they're going to change their life. However, the point being is that if you really strike it at a strong NFT, you hold long enough, it could be life-changing money. This isn't something that is theory. In a sense, it is gambling. It is sort of the lottery effect, but getting a feel and being in the markets firsthand, you could definitely navigate and do calculated possibilities to increase your chances of generating wealth. So I want to tell the story about how I got the Tezzard, which is the CryptoPunk of Tezos. CryptoPunks are the most established NFT on any chain. Yesterday, there was around 8 punks that sold, and the floor on one punk I think is around 300,000. Several of them sell for over $1 million. So these are strong assets. It's not something light, right? And the amount of wealth that they accumulated in such a short amount of time skyrocketed, and it's only accelerating because the punks carry the really strong Pareto market share, where the economic principle is that 20 or 80% of results come from 20% of variables. And even in that, there's very few variables that obtain that 80%. So it's definitely kind of like a winner take all type of approach. And even though the market's so broad, there's space for other products and so on, but punks are the epitome. If you have punk, you'll be pretty set for potentially life. So moving forward with that, the introduction with punks and the relevancy that they carry, each chain has essentially a punk. It has a new collection that is dominant on the chain. And if you go into that chain and you see that they have that collection, it is respect, it's power, it's wealth. And in Solana, it's the degenerate apes and also monkey business. So Solana is still in the process of hashing it out between two main NFT collections, but regardless, both of them are extremely well. To get in, it's not easy. Really, the only way to get in was extremely early. So having that approach, okay, what's next, right? And going back to Tezo's being so early, the epitome collection was still accessible to essentially more people, including myself. So I don't have a extremely strong portfolio of ultimate wealth that I can just jump into these collections. If I had the wealth, I would be playing in more conservative established collections, but I can't get in. I don't have the capital for the breaking point. But seeing Tezos being so early, I did have enough capital that allowed me to get in. And now here's the story of what happened. So the day of, which was, I believe 2 days ago, I woke up to an email saying that I sold an NFT that I bought for 1.4 ETH and I sold it for an entire ETH. I was like, oh, I got to sell an entire ETH. That's amazing. It's my first big transaction to this point. And I had previously sold around 0.5 ETH in other collections that I flipped. So I was sitting around 1.5 ETH on my wallet, and I was okay, like I want to reinvest this, right? And I had been dabbling in Tezos for probably around a week or two, and I loved it. I'm like, I'm long on Tezos. I tweeted specifically, I'm very long on Tezos. There's a lot of potential here. It's still on tap. The marketplaces are so clunky. It's not a good UX, but that's how it always starts off. Being a builder myself, it's like when you first launch your MVP or your first products, they're gonna be bad, but it's where it's going. And Tezos as a currency itself has been rising. So it's only a matter of time to the marketplace in the NFT space get more established. Okay, this is good. So moving forward, I became aware that Tezos has a marketplace called Hen. It's Swedish. It's like Henekt, something like that, and another one called Object. And in Object, it's a bit more, I would say, established, a bit more clean. And this is where I got introduced to a Tezzard. I got to see that a Tezzard was selling extremely high compared to every other collection on Tezos. You could buy really good art on Tezos for one Tezo, like literally one token, 2-3 Tezzards, Tezos, sorry, and you could get great art at an affordable price compared to any other chain. And quick context, quick side note is I saw that Tezos had punks, they're called hen punks. They're literally a rip off of CryptoPunks. But the thing is, it's like any speculation in form of value, even secondary or knockoff versions sell for goodwill. For example, Solana punks, it's literally the third most selling collection in Solana, and it's a ripoff of punks. So I bought some punks on Tezos. I got Tezo punks. I got an alien. Yeah, that's really rare. And but the main point is like I've been exposed to Tezo collections, and I knew Tezzards were the punks of Tezos. I'm okay, like I want to get here. I want to get to this point. So keep in mind that I had sold 1 ETH earlier this day. I had exposure on Tezos and the marketplace, and I knew about Tezzards. So I'm okay. I think tonight's the night. Today's the day. Let me do my research. Let me do due diligence. So I spent the morning learning. I did my work. I was practicing Solidity, learning smart contracts. And then later in the evening, that's where I kind of like ripped off more. I don't focus on essentially practice. It's more of like a browsing, getting a feel of the entirety of the chains and so on. And I was doing my due diligence. And now the time is around 8 p.m. I meet up with my boys at Starbucks. I'm like, hey, I'm thinking of getting this collection. You know, it's Tezo's number one. It's the future of the establishment of Tezos. This collection is stable. It's not like a speculative, like it's rising. It's definitely a collection that's rising. So I got some feedback off them, and yeah, I was ready to move forward. So I just did more browsing. I was looking at the floor. I was looking at which were available, and then I found one I fell in love with. And I was okay. and that day, Ethereum plummeted. It was around 3,000. So my entire ETH was valued at 3,000, not like usually 3.4. And Tezos had gone up. Tezos was very or most expensive on that day. So I swapped my ETH into Tezos, and I still didn't reach the floor. So I had to convert some other tokens, convert some Solana, other players to get to the floor of this Tezzard, right? The floor at the time was, I think, 620 Tezos. Okay, this is it. So actually, let me take a step back. I was just doing research, right? And I found the one that I fell in love with at 620, and it was at the floor. It had good rarity. That was it. So I got a gut feeling like, oh, I should go home and swap my ETH and go forward the transaction. But I'm like, oh, like, you know, it's like a big purchase. I don't think it's gonna be as fast compared to, you know, when it's like a brand new minting process. So I stayed at Starbucks for probably another 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. I didn't want to connect my MetaMask. I didn't want to use public Wi-Fi for the process. So I'd wait to come home to you know, do it safely. And then at my Starbucks, I refreshed. I'm like, oh, it's gone. Someone purchased it. I'm like, oh, like that sucks. Like I was really bummed out. Like I wanted that one, but there was another one on the floor that was really cool as well. So okay, like it's fine. I'll just move on. Get this one right. I'm not really attached to it. And then I'm like, okay. So then I refresh it and it swooped. I'm like, okay, okay. So like, you know, Teslas are selling. So all right, let's go home. I need to go home and start buying one. And then I get to my house, and then this is when I start swapping my ETH into Tezos. And yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money that I do mitigate moving back and forth. And in the process of this, I was keeping an eye on the floor, and there was one that once again I fell in love with. I'm like, God, this is good. It's a good floor. So keep in mind, floor started off at 620 at Starbucks, and now it was at 640. Sounds like, oh, you know, it's more than I expected. So as I'm getting the money, you know, converting to get 640 Tezos, I'm like, okay, it's in. Let me refresh and purchase it. I refresh, gone. And I'm like, oh, that one hit me. I'm like, what? Like it's gone. And this is when I went into, I need to get in now. And you know, this is the process of trading. This is why I'm happy that I got this exposure, because it was so intense. Like I need to get in, because if the floor gets too high, even 700 Tezos, like I can't get in at that price. So I wanted to get in. Then I get to the point, I see the next floor cap, or the floor was at 680. I was like, okay, you know, like let's push it. No, sorry, it was 670. I was like, it's pushing it. So I was okay. Let me just do this. I need to get in. So I send more money in, and there was two Tezzards at the floor price, and there was one, I think it was 670. Sorry, I think this is what I got it at, 670, and there's one at 671 that obviously was just one Tezos more, and I didn't get that one, man. I just get the 671, but it turns out that well, I went through. I got it. I'm like, yes, I got a Tezzard. I'm in. So I got, you know, got a moment of clarity, and I could take a deep breath. And I checked the rarity ranking, and it wasn't rare. It was honestly, it's one of the least rare. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, you know, I'm not. It looks cool, but the other one was cooler, and there was only one Tezos more. So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna sell that floor, and I'm gonna get the other one for one Tezos more. Oh, like, should I do it? It's risky. Like if I sell that floor and there's another floor sweep, and then the new floor is 700, like I might not be able to get in. So I was like, you know, just thinking about it. I was okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give it a shot. Keep in mind, like this marketplace is clunky, It's not like OpenSea where it's clean, the UX is fairly intuitive. This place, like I had to navigate to even get comfortable. So then I list it, and then when I list it, I go to check my collection, and I couldn't see my Tezzard. It's like, or like I'm like, did something in the chain mess up? Like, what's going on? Then I go to the Tezzard listing. I see my Tezzard on the listing, and it says buy now. I'm like, why would it say buy now if I'm the owner? So then I start freaking out because it's no longer in my collection. It's under buy now, and it's so much money. Like this was biggest transaction of my life, one of them. So I was like, oh my god, like I need to figure this out. I don't know what's going on. So for 5 minutes, I'm like, oh no, it wasn't maybe five. It felt like 5 minutes. I don't know how long it was. Just poking, browsing, like I need to find this. I need to figure something out. I need to know what happened. And then under the marketplace, there's an area called listings. And under listings, that's where it was. So I found it. I canceled the listing. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep this. It's too crazy right now. And yeah, so I kept it. And then, yeah, thankfully I did that. Next thing I knew, the next day, the floor was around 780 or 740. Like the floor was too high for me to enter. And I mean, I got a Tezzard. This is I believe it's the punk of Tezos. It's going up. My investment already made me some money. I'm long on this guy. So yeah, it was quite an experience. The intensity was so high. Trading process, act out soon. When you see something you fall in love on this NFT market game, you gotta act fast. Think about it, like people around the world. It's not a local buying process. This is people around the world. NFTs are small. Not a lot of people are in the space. It's still enough to get this really high demand. And keep in mind, like the Tezzard is by far the biggest Tezos collection. So Tezos getting hype, getting momentum. Right. So like it was something to act out fast on. I would have been much happier if I got the 624 with the Tezzard that I fell in love with. I would have been so happy, but happens for a reason. At least I'm in. Can't complain on that. And yeah, so it was quite a journey, and I just want to tell the story of getting my Tezzard. Long as I ordered a hardware wallet. I'm gonna keep that cold storage and just keep it long term. I think this is gonna be a piece that could bring strong returns. I'm excited for the community. It's a funny community, and also the Tezos chain itself, and also we're focusing on double appreciation. Is that as Tezo goes up as a currency, say if it reaches $10 for one token, and then the floor increases on the Tezzard, it's a double win. The asset appreciates in terms of selling price, but then also the currency increases. So it's a double appreciation rather than just having the currency and letting it go up. So yeah, that's the story of getting my Tezzard. I'm very happy. I'm happy. I am. But it's a crazy game. I'm glad I got the exposure. I got to experience the firsthand intensity of fast trading, moving decent amount of money, and trying to stay cool under pressure. That was definitely one of the moments. That was too intense. That was intense. All right, so that's it for the day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.